Russia officially leaves the war. As the British were pushing the Ottomans out of Palestine, the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, were taking over Russia. And with the levers of government in their hands, the Bolsheviks found some interesting documents in the Russian archives. Even though many of the leaders of the Bolshevik Party were Jewish, they rejected Zionism as another capitalist movement. And they still resented their capitalist former allies who had dragged Russia into the Great War. In November 1917, the Bolsheviks released the details of the Sykes-Picot Agreement. They gleefully exposed the Tsar's complicity in the agreement in return for the Dardanelles Strait. Embarrassed by this revelation, Prime Minister Lloyd George tried to brush it off. He claimed the agreement was made before he came to office and that many things had changed since then. When Sharif Hussein and the other Arab leaders demanded an explanation, Lloyd George reiterated Britain's commitment to Arab independence. The Ottoman government made the most of this revelation. They ridiculed Sharif Hussein, calling him a dupe and a fool. They criticized him for betraying the honors bestowed upon him by the Caliph just to become a slave for the British. The Bolsheviks signed an armistice agreement with the Central Powers in December 1917, effectively taking Russia out of the war. The two sides continued to negotiate terms of a final peace agreement until March 1918. This presented a big problem for the Allies. American troops were still months away from arriving, and now the Germans would have a slight numerical advantage on the Western Front. Germany began transferring troops away from Russia to face the Allies in France and Belgium. But the Germans were up against the clock. Whatever advantages they currently held would disappear once the Americans arrived. With this small window of opportunity available, Germany launched a major offensive hoping to break the Allies and force them to the peace table. This was Germany's last chance to win the war.